Today, for the first video, we're going to introduce Nixie, my Dumeril's boa. So just give me a minute, I'm gonna get her out. So this is Nixie. Say hello. She, like I said, is a Dumeril's boa. I got her from a company called Gross Boy Exotics at the Scott Smith's All Animal Expo. I'm very happy with them. She's a wonderful animal. I got her last spring, and I have to say I couldn't be happier. She's grown a little bit since I got her, mostly in width and weight. She's roughly 5 pounds. And she has the sweetest temperament ever. So Dumeril's boas are actually known to have a great temperament. I've heard from some zookeepers that I've talked to and whatnot that females can sometimes be a little touchy-feely and they can get a little snarky at times. This girl over here, she's really, really well-tempered at this. I absolutely love boas. They're one of my favorite type of snake to get. So she is a boa that is different from a python. So your ball pythons are going to be really different. And I have one and I'll show them to you guys eventually. But ball pythons and pythons in general tend to be a little slower. Now that being said, things like the reticulated python can be very, very energetic and a lot of work to handle, and they get very, very big. Boas in general, though, tend to be a little bit more active, would be the word, I suppose. So they like to explore a little bit more if you're handling them, and they'll move around a little bit more, which I really like. Nixie lives in a custom cage that I ended up building. So I like to build my cages, my custom cages, out of cheap, like resale, the DIY section, furniture part of IKEA. So I went ahead and bought, that cage. She's living a smaller one temporarily while I got that one building, but that cage is basically that IKEA enclosure. It's heat paint. It has heat paint to seal it, since I am using a heat mat. It has a heat mat installed that goes with it, and that heat mat is on a thermostat. Then there's a plexiglass side, just because the door didn't really fit the whole thing, with a glass window that I also bought at IKEA for like $5. So the box itself, I believe, was like $15, and the door was $5. So it actually ended up pretty cheap to put together myself. Of course, the most important part was the heat mat and the thermostat, and the most expensive part on top of it. But it was totally worth it, and the cage fits her size. The reason why you want to have your heat mat on a thermostat, so basically it's going to turn it on or off depending on the temperature that the probe gives you, is because if a snake is sitting on a hot spot, it will just continue to sit there potentially and may get a burn. Heat mats tend to be highly unreliable in terms of temperature fluctuations. So just because a heat mat is a certain wattage doesn't mean that it's safe for the animal to be in direct contact with it. So an individual heat mat can get, I've seen them as high as 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So obviously that can burn your animal if your animal sits on that area directly on top of the heat mat or where the heat mat radiates the hottest. So it's really important to keep those heat mats regulated with the thermostat to prevent burns. Again, this girl is super, super sweet. I love her to death. I would trust her with anybody, obviously within reason. She's a great animal to go ahead and show people how gentle these guys can really be. She doesn't care about anything I do. I can grab her face. She doesn't care. Grabbing, loose term, I don't really grab them. They more like just get to sit in my hands and do whatever they want, and I can pet their face. Pet, 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 pet. She doesn't like it, but she's not going to be upset over it. She's not going to bite me over it. So again, really, really cool animal. Really nice snake to keep. Babies tend to be a little picky with their food, from what I understand. I didn't have her as a baby, so I can't necessarily attest to that. But she's really, really awesome. So for a beginner snake, they're pretty cool. And look at this pattern. Isn't the pattern on this thing amazing? The lighting in here really doesn't do her justice. She's got this pink blushing on the sides, kind of where you can see her little rosettes go on. So she's really, really pretty. This is her head pattern. Wait, where you going? No, don't look at the camera, look down. There you go. So she's pretty darn gorgeous. Really sweet girl. I'm hoping to do a photo shoot with her at some point just because she's super pretty and so well behaved. And yeah, that's pretty.